Hey everybody, my name is Maria Isabel Angel from Colombia. I'm super happy to be here. Today with me, I have an amazing artist, an amazing woman. Her name is Khadijah. So Khadijah, welcome. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for asking.
Okay, no, we are super happy to have you here with us and that you are going to be in our festival, in the Menacht Festival, this version, this 2021. We are super happy. Here in Latin America, it's a dance that, the dances of the Gulf are like a mystery, but it's something that we really love, watching, learning, reading. So it is a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so we want to know a little bit more about you. Where are you from, and how did you get started into the dance?
Okay. I was born in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I got started in dancing. Wow. um, I would say I've always have been in love with dance. I've always have been in love with movement and being active and for activity and sport. I would say I really didn't take dance very seriously until I was time to come to college. But when I was a little girl, I used to watch the old black and white movies on TV before in the kingdom, before things became very religious. And I used to try to move and, do things like the dancers and TV. And just, when I came to Florida, United States, I said, I would like to take some classes and just, be active. But never in my life did I ever think my career was going to be from professional. But I always love movement. I always love dance. And it was just, something with your friends, something with your family. You have tea and you have party, you have wedding, everybody dancing, So it's just something just cultural also growing up. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I have a question about that. So how was your life while you were there? As a young girl in Saudi Arabia, how was your life? What was proper for you to do? What was not proper, maybe? Which difference did you find living in the States versus living in Saudi Arabia, for example?
Sure. Here, difference from here where I live, United States, to living in the Gulf, everything is different because here where I live now in America, everything is mixed. Home is not mixed. So I knew being, coming here that everything would be mixed. Nothing is really separately. Men, women, they have one area, men, they have one area. I am used to this way. But I would say that was not a complete shock for me because back home we hear stories of how everything is very mixed here. Just in the kingdom, everything is very religious, so we try to not intermix between men and women. But life here in America is much more fast than back home. So home, it's very slow. Home, you have more time for family life. You have more time for to enjoy slow life, And I miss this way because everybody that knows me knows I'm go constantly. And for me, I want to get back to this life of being more time for family, more time for gathering together, for whether if you prepare food together, you go shopping together, you go to the mall together, you go to the spa together. So life was very slow life, but I love the neighborhood and the area from where I grew up because everything was actually very diverse. How I grew up, because it's not just like Arabic people. there were Indian people, there were African people that came directly from Africa and living to establish life. There were Iraqi people, there were Filipino people. So we had in our area many other cultures than just Saudi people. So it was really nice growing up in being around different culture of people outside of the kingdom. So it was really nice.
Super, super. I didn't know that. It's like you think that is very hermetic. Like it's very just like the local people living there. Maybe some people visiting, but you don't expect a lot of like people from other countries living there. It's like you don't hear this. Like for example, in Dubai, that all the nationalities of the world live there. But when you think about the kingdom, I will, in my imagination, I just see local people, a sacred place also. So it's very interesting that you explain to us that it's open also to other nationalities and that is common. And of course, the dance, the music, the food can be just like influenced also.
Absolutely, because we even have dances that are influenced by like India or like Bangladesh. We even have dances and food, and and there's other Arabic people that live there too that's not native to the kingdom. So like a lot of Yemeni people were in our area also. So it was really nice to see all of these people. But a lot of the people, they come for work and then sometime they go. Sometime they come to establish a business and then they go. And sometimes they end up staying to make family there. So it is very nice to be exposed to that. But one thing about the city, Jeddah specifically, where I grew up, we have old city and we have new city. So if anybody have gone to a place that has old traditional city and then they have a new city, they know the feeling I'm speaking about. But it's very nice that people, they still live traditional ways, and they still have the new modern way of living in Jeddah also.
So now that you mention also the dance, how is the dance lived in the kingdom? I mean, the little girls, the boys, and then when you are a teenager, and then when you are an adult, how is lived? And nowadays, how was lived before and right now?
I love this question. Not many people, I think maybe other person asked me this, and I love this question because one big misconception about people coming from the kingdom is that, shh, nobody, they dance. Shh. Oh my God, this is not true. Everybody, they dancing, everybody, they having fun. But we have separate, even for wedding, when men and women come together, like men, they have their party, women, we have our party. Then at the end, everybody, they come together, then maybe you're not gonna dance together, but so it's kind of this is English word we use, basically that is a double-edged sword, because when you are little girl, you're little boy, everybody think, oh my God, this is so cute. But when you become teenager and getting into your adult years, you don't you want to be careful about your modesty. You want to be careful. It's okay for your best friend, her cousin, she gonna dance. Somebody, they trying to pull you, you're like, no, but you want to be show modesty, because there is still like taboo, there's still like stigma that girls have to be modest in behavior, modest in their ways. So we have to be careful when we're dancing in front of everybody, especially in the city you live, because everybody, they talking. So but everybody, they love to dance, so we could be at home having tea, having some sweets, having just people, our friends, neighbors, they come over, we put music, the men are gone, you can dance, no problem. But it's okay for little girls to dance, it's okay for little boys to dance, but you just have to be careful in public, because public dance is still illegal. um, we have our national holiday, um, and they have most men style dance and national holiday, but sometime women folkloric style can be allowed, but most women, they don't show their face, but that is allowed in celebration from the national holiday. But you still have to be careful from dancing in public. Like, you don't want to even make joke on the street, because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble by doing that.
Mhm.
But
Exactly.
everybody, yes, but everybody love dancing. Everybody love
Exactly.
dancing, and it doesn't even have to be like Khaliji, like Gulf. Like, they love the Egyptian, they love the Lebanese, they love all of this. We love all of this. So,
Mhm.
but it's, because it's not Islamic, we have to be careful
Mhm.
in our behavior.
Mhm. So, now I have a question about who are these women that they dance in these folk festivals that are sponsored maybe by the government? Who dance there? Because are there folkloric dance groups for this, or who are the women that they cover their faces and they dance in these festivals?
Sure. A lot of the women are local women. There used to be troops a long time ago. There used to be troops. Now, there is a way that women can dance, especially if they're singers. We call them tagagas. So if women, they're singers for wedding parties. So sometimes people may know some dancer that dance very good, local dancer dance very good. And sometimes I think there maybe is one troop left in KSA, I believe, one troop left, but you don't see any really outside people coming to make the dance. But it's mostly people that they know from wedding party, people that they know that way, that's in local area. So, but there's not troop, unless
Mhm.
they're male troops. Yes, yeah, men, they have their jalsad, they have the orchestra, but women is very hard to find
Mhm.
unless you know these people.
So another question, for example, did this Mahmoud Reda and the Reda troupe, all these, how can I say, all the fame that they got in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s, maybe influenced or maybe push the kingdom to have their own troupe as it did, for example, in other countries, maybe Lebanon, maybe other countries, or it didn't. It didn't motivate the kingdom to have like Arab ballet, like a
Sure.
national troupe.
Sure. So in the Gulf, there are troops, especially in Yemen. There are troops as well. Kuwait, there are troops. Bahrain, there were troops, but then they gone. But there's one woman that is still preserving the culture there. So we have to realize that even though, we have a Karakala group from Lebanon, we have Reda troop, we have, Kumeya troop, all of these troops, it's different for us. It's very different for us. And then a lot of these troops, to be honest with you, existed before or even during the time that Mahmoud Reda existed. Nobody just talked about it, because at the time when Reda troop, all of these things were happening in Kuwait, a lot of musicians were coming to record music. Gulf music became very popular during this time. Dancing, maybe a little bit, but it didn't become as popular as like the Khaliji music, because many Egyptian people, they come to the Gulf, they come specifically to Kuwait to record their music and make their album. But a lot of these troops did exist either before Reda Troop or during the time of Reda Troop. Some of them I know in Yemen, the name is, I'm forgetting the names. I apologize today. But there is a troop specifically in Yemen that is still existing and still going. But Yemen is also not as strict as the rules and the Islamic laws. Even though they do have Islamic law, they're not as strict as we are in the kingdom. So, but there were troops, and some of them, especially in Yemen, still exist. But back in this time, many were coming to record music, especially, and make music.
So when the dance was like, because you told me that before you can see more dance maybe in the TV, maybe more folk groups or something like this. When did this change in the 80s, in the 60s? When did this change?
Sure, that's a very, very good question. So I would say, let me clarify when I say the dancing, because a lot of the dancing we see on TV was not necessarily our own style of dancing. We saw dancing Egyptian dancers, we see golden era dancers. So we knew all about the Egyptian belly dancers. We knew all about the dancers in Lebanon. So these, even dancers in Syria. So we knew about these styles, but when things really start to get religious, I would say, well, I was born in the 80s, so prior to that, I am not sure. But after that, I would say late 80s, early 90s, when many of the war started to break out and things really became strict. In my opinion, I didn't see any of these things on TV. Things became more religious. Things became more, let's focus on religion in Islam. Let's not focus on any distraction. So this has been the way since then, now, and to now also.
Exactly. And you were talking also about the weddings, For example, if we go today to a wedding, what can we see? We can see the boys dancing in a group and the girls dancing in another group. What can we see right now?
So very little boys. Very little boys, you'll see them moving around, but it's the little girls you have to pay attention to. The little girls are amazing. They have no fear. Everybody think they're very cute, moving around, and their movement is wow. Oh my God, mashallah. Like, it's really nice to see them dancing together. And usually girls, prepubescent girls are, dancing together also. Sometimes you're gonna see one or two adults up and dancing and moving around, adult girls, especially if it's a very close family that they trust each other, they love each other. There's no quarreling between each other. So of course everybody's gonna get up to dance together. Sometimes they're gonna pull you, come on, let's dance. You're like, no, okay, because you're dancing in your chair. So you will see this kind of way. There's a lot of food. Everybody is beautiful, nice dresses, beautiful jewelries, henna. It's a very welcoming feel. It's a very party atmosphere, but you feel very comfortable because it's just women. It's just women. But, like I said, you want to maintain your behavior as modest because you don't want the reputation. Even though it's all women, you don't want to have this reputation. So it's kind of like, oh my God, what do I do? But me being me, I just dance. Me being me, I just get up and I dance. So
Exactly. As you say, if the family is very like, there is no problem, if the uncles, the cousins, everybody knows each other, like they love each other, there are no people that are outside the family, is okay, you feel comfortable, you can dance a little bit more. And of course, yes, between the girls is much more easier, you just can dance and just be a little bit more crazy. The thing is that when you have external eyes, you don't know who is watching. So
yes.
that's the thing.
Yes, yes, especially, You just want to maintain or keep your modesty all times. But people, they're gonna talk. If you love to dance, I say dance. But as long as it's in the presence of other women, okay.
So I have a question about this. So, for example, the Khaliji dance that is common in the Oriental dance world, the Raqs al Nashad dance, the Khaliji dance, when you see it performed, it is not modest, but on the contrary, maybe it's too sensual, or maybe too jumpy, or maybe too, I don't know, too crazy with the hair. What do you think about this? What would you do? What you wouldn't do? What is that you feel that is like, yes, this is my land. This is the way that the women behave in my land. In the kingdom. And what else that you see in the Khaliji dance, in the Oriental dance world, that you like and that you don't like?
Okay. First and foremost, I never like to be the police, because I don't want people to think my behavior is this way. But since you ask me, I love this question, because one thing dancers don't realize is that the Raqs Nashal is small part of our dancing. We have folklore within our folklore, so it really depends on like what style of dance, because not all the time we do this hair. This is a very specific dance. This is a very specific way, because we have other styles of dance that we do that does not even require hair. It's mostly your movement, your footwork, your shoulders. We don't really use hips, but there are other dances that we do that's outside of this, using the thobe and the hair. So this is a specific folklore in its own. So this is one thing I want to let belly dancers know, that when they when they think of Khaliji, they do this, but everybody in the Gulf does this way. Everybody in the Gulf does this way, and they do this way with their style of thobe. Thobe in Arabic just means dress. So they do it with their style of dress, and they're gonna do it with their style of music. Now I can move to the next city. We're gonna do dance in a circle with men, and then we're gonna go forward, drop, spin, turn around, come back. This is a total different style. You don't see the women doing the hair. Sometimes you'll see women dancing in hijab. So it all depends where you go in the kingdom, because every single city, you could always tell somebody who they are, where they're from, by how they're dancing, because not everything is the thobe side to side. And I really want belly dancers to explore more into Khaliji folklore, because all the time dancers, they asking me, oh, do your hair dance, and it's like, okay, but everybody, they have this way. So so we have to get belly dancers used to the terminology of what style of folklore of Khaliji that they want to do, because every way is different, and not every way is the same way that every dancer think that Khaliji is danced. So we have to be careful from this way. I think you mentioned one more question, that the do's and the don'ts. Yes, especially getting to know. My advice to belly dancers is to get to know as many folk styles as possible. Become very diverse from this, because, like I said, not all the time we use thobe to dance. Sometimes women, they dance in hat. Sometimes women, they dance in pantaloons. Sometimes they dance like in tunic. Sometimes they dance in abaya. Sometimes they dance in very long hijab. So it all depends. On the style. So many belly dancers need to get more diverse in their learning, and not just one style of Khaliji, because people, they tend to ask me for one style. There is many styles. Many
But
styles, many styles.
talking about that, do you think there is enough information about, for example, with Egypt, for example, that we have, thanks to Mahmoud Reda, but not just him, thanks to many researchers that they have written documents, theses, books, whatever. So do you think that in the Khaliji, do you have enough written information, that we can read, or documentaries that we can watch, or would you like it to be more accessible, like information accessible to us?
Now the information is starting to become accessible because once again, this is not Islamic, but there are many of us like myself that are trying to preserve these styles. um, Written books, old texts, no. You don't really find. You're gonna find poetry, you're gonna find some music, but you're not going to find anything about the dancing. You're going to find books about textiles, how to, the earrings, the jewelries, the clothing, region for clothing, but you're not going to be able to associate those two together because there's disconnect in the literature between those two. So many of us, like myself, are trying very hard to keep these two together. There are very few books you can find out there, very few books you can find that's going to give you this information that may correlate from the music. And when you can correlate from the music, then you can cultivate the dancing. So we are still working hard. If you find documentary, you're going to find it in Arabic. You're not probably going to find it in English. But the information is slowly coming up and out.
But that is amazing. And I think I think it's amazing the moment in time that we are living right now, that there is interest between the students because we want more information,
Yes.
and between teachers as yourself, that you are motivated because you know that you have the language, both languages, so you can prepare documents, documentaries, so you can leave this information for the future generations. It's not like everything is written, everything is on film. This is the perfect opportunity to leave a legacy,
Yes.
information. So
Yes, yes, inshallah, this is what I'm trying to do. If God is willing for me, this is what I'm trying to do. Because I want, because a lot of our dances, a lot of our music, a lot of our style is based on a lot of African principles. Because my ancestors, my lineage is African. My lineage is from Kenya. So we have many influence in the kingdom from African traditions, intermix with the local traditions. So for me, this is when people they ask me, why are you dancing, Khadijah? I always say I dance because I have to, not necessarily because I want to, because for me, this is a connection for me. This is a way for me to continue to be connected to my lineage, to the culture, my culture. Is I can't tell you the feeling of this. It's very proud feeling. So I want everybody to know about this style. I want everybody to know, even if I have one student for my class, I'm going to teach you. Even if I have one student, wallah, I'm going to teach you, because it's important for me. People know this information and they know the right information. Like I said, I can watch YouTube and I see, wow, I see so many things ballet dancers are doing. They, wear the bedla set in the thobe. They disrespect the dress. I'm like, what is this? So I don't think many ballet dancers know that this dress, this thobe, is our way of life. This is a symbol of struggle, identity, hope, all of the things that really make our culture, regardless of where our foundation has come from, whether people have immigrated to the area or whether we were brought in as, I never refer to my ancestors as slaves or slavery, whether we were brought in to help build the kingdom. taken from our original African homes. This is something so precious for us that I can't help but to share this knowledge with people, and anybody for me that want to learn. My God, I'm gonna teach you everything I could possibly teach you, because this is so important for this proper and correct information to be put by dancers all over the world.
That is
Everybody should know
that
this.
is amazing, because some people, they just they enjoy perhaps their dance and the culture and where they come from, but they are not interested about sharing. But in your case, you love your traditions and you want to share that. So it's education, or educational for us. So I think that is amazing. And also, I wanted to tell you about something that when you mentioned that the Tobe is a representation of the culture, of the history, of the struggles, everything, and also because nowadays with the social media, is that when I see, for example, this dance in particular, I want to see, or I wish I see a woman in the context of, for example, a woman of the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, how she will behave, how she will dance. She will dance, okay, in her home. But when I do this scrolling social media and I see a dance doing the Khaliji, the Raqs al Nasha, the hair dance, is so far away, it doesn't take me to the aesthetics and to the customs and to just the manners. And I wish all the students, including myself, we respected more that, where this dance comes from, and who does this dance, who do it, who, so
So
we can represent the manners and the context and the history and everything. Huh?
yes, yes, absolutely. So for me, this is why I don't do any crazy remixing of anything, because you have to know the tradition first before you can mix anything. So I see dancers are doing all types of things, especially with Iraqi dance. Iraqi dance has its own separate, but they tend to confuse, even though we have many overlapping similarities. I'm going to leave it as that. But I see dancers really doing, Khaliji, something else, and it's like, well, do you know the original foundation? Like, do you know
Mhm.
what you're dancing to? Do you know
Mhm.
what this means to
Mhm.
to move in a certain way? So you have to know what you're dancing before you can mix anything, because now in the kingdom there is a huge wave of Khaliji hip hop. So
Mhm.
hip hop is very intertwined now into the culture, but still keeping tradition into the culture as well. So once again, people, and with any style of dance, just like you said, Maria, people know their dances when they see their dances. People know to feel comfortable, even if they may not be familiar with the dance, they know how the dance is supposed to make them feel. So if somebody they doing something that does not feel authentic or feels very inauthentic, people they begin to feel uncomfortable. You don't have to be an expert in this dance to know if a feeling makes you, I don't know about this way. I don't know. I don't like, So if something make you feel good, something make you feel nostalgic in the moment, when I'm, because people they ask me, Khadijah, what do you think about when you dance? Wow, I smell the smells, I remember the food, I remember, my neighbor's face, I remember, the wedding a long time ago, I remember, getting a hug from my aunt, my best friend, my childhood friend. Like, I think of all of these things that remind me of home, and that's something that cannot be taught. Like, a feeling cannot be taught. um Movement, anybody can move, but you have to have the feeling. And what I try to do in my dances is share lived experiences through movement,
Mhm.
because it's so hard for me to explain to people what that feels like. It's so hard for me to explain in words, but for me, in my dance, I feel I can explain it. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I completely, agree with you in the sense that it's just feeling, it's not just showing off. It's not just if you can do a back bend or like many circles with your hair and with your neck. It's just the feelings, And sometimes when we see the dance, even if it is Oriental dance or even is one of the Khaliji dances, some girls are very motivated just in the show, make the dance a show and not connect with the feeling, just showing. But what is the connection with the tradition, as you say? And also, what story are you telling? Who represents
Mhm.
and the
So
feelings. So
absolutely. So one thing that I can say about that, I feel like a lot of dancers, if they don't know um, the tradition, like they may know a few steps, okay, but you just like how somebody is speaking, they have an accent. In your dancing, you have an accent also. So wherever you're from, your accent in your dancing is gonna show in the same way. So I can always tell by dancers how they may have had training, who they were trained by, and where they may be from also, because of the way that they're moving. So they may do one or two Khaliji steps, and then they're gonna put Egyptian steps, then they're gonna put Russian style steps, crazy back bends, lots of crazy hair that we don't do. We don't dance this way.
mhm,
Sometimes they may put ballet steps. Sometimes they may put Lebanese style in. I don't understand this way.
mhm.
So again, when we see our dances, we know our way and we know how people they execute their dance. But if they don't know a missing part in their dance, they're gonna fill it in what they think they know, and
Mhm.
this can be dangerous. This can be
Exactly.
dangerous.
Exactly, because it's like continuing the misinformation, and also it is damaging for the body sometimes because you are not prepared, and also what you are showing is confusing other people, your students and the students of your students. So yeah, I see the same. I see the same. So talking about feelings and talking about also about the role of women in the Arab countries, uh, what is true for you that you live there, that you were born there, being a woman in a Muslim country? What do you see that the media, for example, over like is too much information, is too little information, is confusing? What is real? What is not real? Because people talk about a woman in a Muslim country that she can do this, she cannot do this. This is forbidden. This is okay. So, which are the myths and which are the truths about this?
Wow, I love this question. Not many people ask me this question, and I love it. What people don't understand is that first, I'm going to talk about Islamically women's rights, and in the tradition and in our culture, our rights, okay? Because people often confuse the two. Number one, Islamically, women have a lot of power in Islam. Some of the most powerful women in Islamic stories, in Islamic way, very powerful. Okay, so I can tell you so many Islamic stories of female embodiment of very powerful women. For example, Khadijah was Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, was his first wife. She was an amazing entrepreneur. All the men, people in the city respect her and her family because of her behavior, her character, her knowledge. Very smart. So, women, Islamically, we have a lot of power, okay? We don't have to work if we don't want to. We can stay home if we want to. We can go to college. In Islam, it is actually encouraged. The more education you have, the more knowledge is better. Because what we say in the Quran, you are held accountable for what you don't know in your religion. So, women, the more education we get, the better. Anybody, the news always try to make Arabic women or African women look very uneducated, and I never understand this. I never understand this way, because education, where I come from, is very important. very important. And women working in high positions is very important. So it's not always in all the tradition in the Gulf that women, they stay home, they have baby all the time. No. It's not always this way. So women have very high status in Islam. In culturally, we have high status as well. You hear these stories about, women, they get beat, blah blah blah. It's very illegal for a man to beat his wife. All of these things. Same way. Respect is the basis of Islam, and especially there's a saying also in the Quran that heaven lies under the mother's feet. So there are so many things telling the society that women, we do have a high status. It's the people that ruin it. So before my mother, she passed away, she said, Khadijah, always get to know your religion before you get to know its followers, because people, they take things out of context and they ruin it. So just like every place on earth, you have people that's uneducated, people that misinterpret things and they take it the wrong way. And so this is how the negative parts of the Islamic world will come about, because they see on the news, they see the Hamas, they see ISIS, they see Hezbollah, they see all of these Daesh, they see all of these terror people. But you have to question your source. Hey, are these people really Muslims? Are they really good interpretation of the people, representation of the religion? La, not at all. Not at all. So you have to be careful from your source. But women have very high status. And in our holy book, the Quran, supports that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is amazing. A lot of information. It was like a cultural trip. We covered dance, we covered culture, we covered religion also. So it was super, super interesting. I know that you are very busy. I know that this was like just a piece of heaven just talking to you. So maybe if you want to say goodbye to the girls and to the people that are watching this interview, the last comment that you want to give to us.
Okay, I just want to say thank you, Maria, and your team for inviting me to your school. One day I wish to travel to Colombia to see your face in person. I just want to say thank you so much for doing this and helping to spread knowledge all over the world, working so hard to support artists like all of us in your platform. Thank you for choosing me. I am so grateful. I cannot wait to dance and learn and grow with all of you. And thank you so much for your time to be with me.
Mm-hmm. No, we love it. And it's like this information is so important, you know. Right now, everybody wants to just create different styles, innovate and continue and something crazy and other thing more crazy. But going back to the roots, you know, connect with the history, with the traditions is very, very important. So for us, you are a gem. So we are super happy.
Thank you. I always say it's okay to be innovative.
Yeah.
It's okay to be creative, but you have to know where to be creative and innovative from. This is first.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye, Khadijah. It was a pleasure to have you here. Goodbye, everybody. So I will see you, all of you, in another opportunity. So thank you for connecting, okay? Bye-bye.